alaikum and welcome to the live show with Musart. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Salim Patel, who is the Managing Director of CT1 Building Solutions. He's here to share his journey of how he made it. Assalamu alaikum.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Trust me, this man is super busy, right?
All I have is time.
Well, that's what he believes. Anyway, how are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, great. So tell me, right, how did you get to being in this position today?
Okay, it's quite a long journey. I'll give you a shortened version of it.
Yes.
So I did the normal course of education, school, college, university. I studied computing, and after doing so, found it quite difficult to find a computing related job. Most of the jobs I applied for, I was either overqualified or very well underqualified. So based on that, I decided to pursue a career in sales, and I didn't really know much about sales, the processes and formalities that it comes with. So what I decided to do is start right at the bottom. So I started to work for a telesales company, and after about a month or so, they asked me to start training the telesales people. So it was really good for my confidence boost. Then I started to work for a company now known as Virgin. So in those days, back in 2004, it was known as NTL. So it was literally hard. It was a really hard job because you're literally on the streets, knocking door to door. Yeah, I've knocked plenty of doors to try and sell.
Convince them?
Some of them I did and some of them I failed, but it was a very good learning curve. But I think when you knock on people's doors, they can be as brutal as they want. Yeah. So I had dogs chase me, I had people's mothers chase me with a rolling pin, all sorts, yeah. I even had somebody who opened the door and said, "I don't like human beings." So that was quite difficult to deal with, right?
Oh, how did you react to that?
I was scarred for life, basically. So that was quite tough. And after doing the NTL job, I guess my big break was when I was assigned to work for PepsiCo, which is a very large company. So I was working in their Walker's Crisp section, then Pepsi, then Tropicana and Quaker. So I did that for about a year or so, and then I learned invaluable skills and met with invaluable people who gave me some of the parts of my character which I've got now. So it was an invaluable experience. From there, my confidence grew and I applied for BT. Started working for BT, the phone book. Then from there, I worked for Barclays PLC.
Your whole CV today.
Yeah, so I worked for Barclays PLC. Yeah. And I think that was my make or break moment because I really didn't like the job.
Barclays.
Yeah, I didn't like the job.
Banking is a hard job.
It's a hard job, but what I didn't like about it is because it was an office-based job, and I always had freedom before, outdoor field-based sales jobs, and there wasn't that much selling element to it. So I found a selling element to it, and I became FSA certified to sell insurance, etc. And once I'd done that, I basically quit.
You gave up.
Yeah, so that's the last time I ever worked for anybody. Back in 2006 in September, my best friend was getting married. And he randomly phoned me up and said, "I'm getting married." I said, "Oh, fantastic, I'm happy for you." He said, "I'm getting married next week." I said, "Okay, where are you getting married?" "In Morocco." Okay. So that made it very difficult for me to stay in that position because they wouldn't give me time off. And I asked for time off. They said no. And I went back and I said, I quit. So I quit my job.
Marriage was that important?
Marriage was more important. And then from there I was thinking, what's my next move for the next 4 or 5 months? And in April 2017...
Were you married at this point?
No, I wasn't married, no. April 2017, I had the opportunity to work for a construction company called CT1 Ltd based in Northern Ireland, who are manufacturers of products like CT1, a very popular product in the UK, the leading seal and adhesive. And I was working for the distribution company in London, at the time was called CT1 Greater London. So I was a sales rep, self-employed by the way, no salary, commission only. And I did that for about 6-7 months. I really enjoyed myself, it was fantastic. And then the opportunity came about to have my own distribution. So in October 2010, I started, so it's coming up to 10 years now in business. And we grew, and for the first 3.5 years, I just did it myself. So I was working from my bedroom.
So like a franchise, is this?
So it's like a franchise, it's a distribution.
You have to buy into it? Or?
So no, there's no buying into it. Basically, they give you the opportunity to purchase their products on a yearly basis with a renewable contract. If you adhere to the rules and you buy a certain amount of product, they support you. And they have vast experience in sales and marketing, so they give you very good support. And I love the ethics of the company based in Northern Ireland and their principles and their values, and that really attracted me to work with them. And I never look back, and I love what I do. And as I carried on doing what I was doing, and I hit certain numbers, basically my accountant said to me, "You need to hire staff." I said, "Staff? What's that?"
Wow.
And I hired 2 people, and then from there we grew, and now we have 9 people in my company, full-time employed with company vehicles, etc. So we do really well. And 4 years ago, we became the #1 distribution company out of 14 companies in Europe. And we hold on to that position with great pride.
You're going so fast with this, but I must ask you, how did you invest into it? Because weren't you? Because if you just left a job and you went from one job to another,
that's right.
How did you invest?
At that point, what happened was me and my brother, who's my business partner, but he was working in the trains and he still is. He basically helped me to fund the beginning of the business. We started it together at 50-50 and he funded 60-40 basically, but we split it down the middle. And then my other brother helped financially towards it as well, but he was very passive towards the business because he's an optician. And we started from there. So sales, delivering, marketing, advertising, all myself. So after 3 years and doing very, very well, my accountant said, you need to get staff. So I brought the staff in, and then my team, which is a great team, helped us to get to where we are now.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
So, and then also you've been on QVC.
Yes, so I got the opportunity from the managing director of CT1, the owner of the product and head office. They gave me the opportunity to go on QVC shopping channel and promote the CTech brand, which was a great honor, which I did so for about 6 months. And that's how I basically met my wife, not through the program, but indirectly, which was great.
Did you have Rishta Me, like on your, going underneath the QVC, man available?
I basically lined them up, right? No, no, what it was is through family, through arranged marriage. I remember
you saying you was finding it difficult to find...
Yeah, so what it was is that
when you say you're a businessman, women want
people can't put a price tag on you. So if you say you're an accountant, they know what you're worth. If you say you're a businessman, they just don't know what you're worth. So they can't ask you, Betta, what are you worth? So it was a little bit difficult. And then finally what happened, my prospective missus, I asked her if she wanted to look at a picture of me. So I said, just turn on your TV tomorrow morning. It's a classic line. So she saw me on TV and obviously she fell in love. Obviously, right? She's still looking for a refund policy at the moment. It's 28 days, done, right?
But she can't find it.
She can't find it. Where is that refund policy? She can't find it.
No,
so,
I don't think she wants to give you back. I'm sure she
definitely she don't. But the good thing is that she, through that avenue of QVC that I was given through head office, it gave me the opportunity to learn about the media in the way it operates, and about business and about promoting. And it was a great opportunity, and I'm thankful for that opportunity.
So coming back to, you've given me a whole CV, right?
Yeah.
Literally. Coming back to growing up, right? There's this lovely story I know about you.
Yeah.
He found a square hula hoop. Do you remember that campaign, guys, right? When we were growing up, and we were all like dying to get this hula. And I used to think this is rubbish. You know, I used to give out used to give out fivers.
Yes.
And you were 10?
So I was about 10 years old.
And you found a square hula hoop worth £1 million.
So I was walking down a road just parallel to mine, just a normal day. I went and bought a packet of crisps. I was eating the hula hoops, and I found this block in there, and I thought, I put it in my mouth. It was really salty. It wasn't really edible. It wasn't meant to be eaten. And I put it in my mouth. I bit half of it. Half of it was left. And I thought, I'm going to get a refund for this. So I turned the packet to look at my statutory rights. Put the other bit back in my mouth. And as I was chewing that lump of salt, it said, £1 million for the person who finds the square hula hoop. And I thought, and I just gulped it, right? And then I thought to myself,
oh goodness.
Okay, now what do I do?
You didn't tell your parents, you're too scared.
No, I was too scared, right? So I thought, okay. So I just ate the packet, chucked it in the bin, and basically wiped it from my memory. I didn't tell nobody. And I think it taught me something, which was...
I think from a young age, coming from a middle class family, you know, you've always wanted to have this mindset. I want to be successful. I want to be rich. You know, not in a obviously arrogant way, but you know, you want to have all the good things of life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Simply because I feel I deserve them. Yeah. Because I'm prepared to put my neck on the line, whatever it takes. I'm very passionate about what I do. Whatever I do is 100% in or 100% out. Yeah. Very black or white in that sense. So
from the age of 10, you said your mindset opened.
Yeah, because what happened was I always believed that I'd be successful. All my life, I believed that. Since I was 10, since I was born, I just knew since I was born, I just believed in myself. I didn't know what I was good at.
Where did this belief come from, would you say?
It's hard to find the key roots of it.
You're the eldest of your family as well.
I'm the eldest, so there's an additional responsibility, which I didn't really want, to be fair. But I think my mum was a very hardworking person, so was my father. I could draw some energy from that. But I don't really know where it's specifically. You look at them and think there's an easier way. Is that what you think? Maybe, that's actually a possibility. I think for me, it was just, I believed in myself. I believed that I could make people laugh. I believe that I can help people. I believe that if I work at something, I'm going to get a return. And when this hula hoop incident happened, it kind of reaffirmed that, you know what, you were this close to it, and you know what, you're going to be there. You're going to get there, and you're going to get there for sure. So from 10 onwards, my belief started to build, and I started to become a bit more confident in terms of what I thought will happen in my future, because you can never predict. And what's written for you, you're going to get anyway, and what's not written for you, you're never going to get. So that part of it, it's hard to get to the real roots of where it came from. But I think when I look around me and look at my friends and look at my family and my circle, there wasn't anyone specifically that I aspired to and I thought I want to be like him. Probably apart from my best friend. I always wanted to be like my best friend.
Why? What was special
because
about
he was just ferocious, right? He was
he
fearless.
Huh? He was 10 at the time?
No. I met him when I was 12, I think, right? Secondary school. So when I met him, basically, I felt that he had the missing components that I didn't have. So throughout my childhood, I was quite fearful of things.
Learning from him.
So, I was scared of dogs, I was scared of closed spaces, I had so many phobias, right? But this guy, he was fearless. And he had the one bit that I didn't have. So being with him, it gave me a bit of that, and it rubbed off on me and made me less fearful, so to speak. And I felt very safe with him. And he's still my best friend now, and I'll do anything for him. And what I learned with being with him is, you don't need to be scared. What are you scared for? Who's going to do anything to you? You can just go with your heart and go for it. And he gave me that belief. So he was definitely one of my role models, and he still is. He probably doesn't know it, and now he does, right? But he's definitely one of my role models, and I love him to bits. So he's one of my role models. The other role model, I'd say, massive role model, would be the owner of CT1, which is Jimmy Walsh, who taught me most of the things that I know from a commercial point of view, how to do business in an ethical manner, how to sell, how to promote your business and your brand.
CT1's a very good
I'm blessed to have had him in my life to inject in me all the years of international knowledge that he's gained. Is priceless. So what I did very, very quickly is when I joined CTEC, I realized that from a sales point of view, he's somebody I can really learn from. From a technical point of view, Marty, who's a general manager of CT1, I can learn a lot of technical knowledge from him. And then supported by Monica, who looks after the overall finances of the business. So I basically latched on to Jimmy and then just literally just started juicing his brain about phone him every time. If I go visit a customer.
You get him on and ask him.
Yeah, I'd phone him. Jimmy, I'm going to see this customer. Can you give me some advice? Can you give me some advice?
So you had this urge to learn?
I always wanted his blessing. Wherever I go, I wanted him to get a piece of the success, right? So, and I spent hours, countless hours speaking with him. And when he spoke, I listened and wrote down everything he said. And I wrote down his quotes, because I think he helped to convert my proverbs. I think that people are the way they are because of the proverbs that they believe in. So for example, people say, I'm busy. And then they basically make themselves busy.
That's true.
Even though they're not, but because they think they are, they'll act that way. And what he taught me was...
but there's a saying as well, like, if you want to get something done, ask the busiest person.
Oh, definitely.
Do it.
Yeah. His level of self-belief is just another level. And I always aspired to him, and he gave me that role model to look up to in terms of success, but not just success. He had a very nice blend of success, but also great character. He was always happy. And I really aspired to that, and I still do now.
You're always happy as well, I've seen.
Yeah, but it's majorly down to him, because he's definitely the most successful person I know, and definitely the most happiest person I know. And I thought, if I can get...
What do you think that secret is?
I think it's because of his inner beliefs. His belief is just phenomenal. Maybe his belief in God, maybe his belief in what he's done, maybe his belief in where he wants. His clarity is he knows exactly where he's going. And that just drags you along. So,
there is the power of knowing as well.
He's got that magnetic field around him, and I was definitely latched on, and I just learned as much as I could. And I'm still learning. And if I don't speak to him for a month, I feel as if I'm losing out, I'm losing money, or I'm losing happiness because I'm not getting more from him. So I'd phone him any time of the day, I'd meet him. When he came to London, I'd sit down with him till late hours of the evening, just learning from him what he's done and done well to save me making the mistakes. And I think people who start a business new should try and find a mentor who can guide them and help them to avoid the pitfalls in business. Because there was a lot.
And not compete, basically.
Exactly. And he taught me to compete inwardly, because I was always competing outwardly. So if I started a company, I'd want to know who's the best and then try and emulate that. What he taught me is to compete inwardly and say, look, you don't have to worry about everybody else. Just be the best that you can be. And that's sufficient. And that took a bit of time because I was always chasing numbers and targets. I'm a statistic guy. So, you know, who did this, who did that, how did they do it, where did they do it? So I want to know the intricate details. But what he taught me was to look at myself and say, okay, what did you do? How can you improve? How can you better yourself? And then I added components onto that as I carried on, started reading, doing more courses. I just got certified last week by Richard Bandler, the co-creator of NLP, which was a phenomenal experience. So now I'm a licensed practitioner. In October, I'll do my master practitioner, and then I'll take on from there.
Train, man, like.
Yeah, I definitely believe people can.
Lots of skills along the way.
Yeah, so I believe in CANI, C-A-N-I, continual and never-ending personal development. You never stop. You never stop learning. My energy is definitely not from food or sleeping. My energy is from my passion. I just believe. Your passion? My passion is just to be the best.
To be the best?
Because no one remembers number two.
So what would you say, like, what would people come up to you and say, okay, if you're being the best, aren't you being a bit arrogant? How would you justify
I think in the field that I'm in, which is sales, it's virtually impossible to be confident and not slightly arrogant at sometimes. It's a very fine line and sometimes a bit blurry. But I believe that as long as you stay on the right side most of the time.
Would you say that arrogance is necessary?
To a degree, yes. Because you have to kind of self-promote yourself. And if you don't err on that side of arrogance a little bit, you can't do your job properly. So if I walk into a shop and I just say, hello, I'm Salim from CT1 Building Solutions, I want to sell you a product, what do you reckon? He's not really going to be excited. But if I talk to him about what I've done so far with other retailers, in a proudful way, you know, Jimmy always says to me, have the attitude of a peacock.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a very nice way of putting it. Don't be arrogant, don't be ignorant, be proud of what you've achieved.
Say that it's because the peacock knows it's very pretty, but when it looks at its feet, it starts crying.
Maybe so. But he said that I use a lot of Jimmy's analogies in my life, and I write down his quotes, and he's been an inspiration for me.
Oh,
he's been an inspiration for me.
Coming back to that, it's like, obviously the viewers are going to think you've had such a straight success, but I know it's not that way. But tell me, when it comes to were you ever in financial problems? Did you ever people ever deceive you when you started coming to business? You know, and how did you tackle those challenges?
That's a really good question. So as far as difficulties, I guess the main difficulties is that
I think debt is a big problem.
Debt is a problem. So through university, through college, I had a little bit of debt, and that was piling up. And I always felt, because I had the confidence that I can earn the money, I kind of never worried too much about the debt. I thought, it's okay, I'll just clear it one day. Until my brother helped me on a financial side where he gave me a better mindset towards money. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe it's quite important to save money, maybe, right? And
I remember you were saying that you were...
I was minus 20,000.
Yes,
yeah,
I was. Plus there was more going out than coming in.
Yeah.
And then what was it that hit you and thought, okay, I need to take charge of this?
I think it was to do with the fact that I had to stop just thinking that I can make as much money as I want and just think, what have I got now? And just live in the now and say, okay, what's my current position? My current position is that I can't pay zakat, you know, 2.5% a year. Yeah. So that's not good. Yeah. So I might have a company, but your money is tied into the company. So until you don't sell it or do something with it or bring in investors, you can't technically extract that out. So I thought to myself, okay, I need to look at my position now and plan forward according to what I am now. And being in debt for minus £20,000 is not a great thing. Yeah, so how can I chop that down? So some of my family members helped me to chop that down, and then I started to save money, and then alhamdulillah, you know, managed to get through that. So what would be your biggest money tip then, would you say? Biggest money tip is very simple. It's to definitely find a way, a mechanism to save money on a regular basis. Okay. Small often is a lot better than lump sum and forget. And if you do that, I say money doesn't bring you happiness, but what it does do is give you options. And the more options you have, the better. So if don't get attached to it, basically. Don't get attached to it. To me, money is just a tool. I've never been financially motivated, and I don't think I'll ever will be, no. I'm commercially motivated in terms of success. I just want to be the best at what I do. That's it. And you want to give out the best product as well, so people are happy with your product. Absolutely. So I think but we have got the best product. Yeah, I think the most successful people would be that they worry more about what they're giving to the customers, basically. Yeah. So I think once you focus on that, money just follows. Yeah, I think Jimmy gave me a really good analogy, right? Is that imagine you're in a river and there's a ball, and that ball is success, and you want to paddle towards it really, really fast. What's going to happen to the ball? It's going to keep floating away. Yeah, but just take your time, nice and easy, plan moves, and pick up the ball. It's yours. Wow, and that really calmed my passion to a degree where I could be a bit more calculated in what I do. Were you a bit money driven before, would you say? No, never, no. I'm not. I like nice things, but I'm not material in that sense where I need those things to make me feel good. You know, my bank balance is not my bank balance. My bank balance is my mobile phone, my friends, my family. That's my balance.
So what would you say? And also, yeah, like I said, when you were ever like when people cheated on you or did that bring you down? Like, you know, like when you went into a business or people, you know, like...
I think it was all to do with managing expectations. And one tip I would give definitely to people is manage your expectations to a degree where you're not guaranteed you're going to get a massive drop. Don't lift your expectations so high. It's like Mayweather against Pacquiao. Expectations so high, you could never live up to that level of hype. So I think with people...
But shouldn't you be expecting success?
You should. And I had a very good debate with a good friend of mine called Habab, who owns a company called Simple Claims, right? And a company called Cuba Insurance. So he said to me, you should have good expectations of people. I said, yeah.
For people, you say?
For people, you should. Oh. I said, yeah, but...
Of people, you shouldn't have high expectations.
Correct.
But you should have high expectations of yourself, though, no?
You should have high expectations of yourself.
Or what your product
don't get into such an emotional frenzy that if things don't happen the way you want it to, that you're going to collapse. So I'd rather do is this. Is say, you know what? I'm going to keep my expectations in check. Don't expect too much. And then if it goes great, fantastic. If it goes low, then... Because I used to be a bit like this, emotionally. Very high and then very low, right?
It's because of what people...
Yeah, emotionally I used to be very high and low because I never got that plateau line. So when I was able to, through business, through coaching, through friends, through family, and the people that I looked up to, they gave me a very calming effect. For example, Marty, the general manager of CTEC, is one of the calmest people you'll ever meet. So I might phone him and say, Marty, I've got no stock. I need stock. CT1's selling like hotcakes. WT1's flying at the door. Marty. And he'll be like, okay, Salim. I'll be like, come on, Marty.
So you're out of stock, were you saying?
Yeah, so this happens.
You have to buy more stock.
I have to buy more stock.
You don't have the money to buy the stock.
Not the money. It's just a time frame because...
they run out of the stock.
No, we manufacture from scratch. So there's a 4-week lead time, which they reduce down to about 2-3 weeks. But sometimes things just happen, you get really busy and it's all gone.
You can't get it,
So I contact Marty and he's just never under pressure at all. And I'm like, come on, Marty, you must be a little bit stressed. You know, or just act like you're stressed. But he's calm because he's competent. He knows. And that is something I picked up from how to be calm, how to be always keep your emotions in check. Don't get too high and too low. Keep your emotions in check. Manage your expectations.
Do you never get angry then?
Anger, I don't call it anger. I've given it a different name.
Frustration?
I get a little bit frustrated. Of course I do. I don't think there's any human being who doesn't. But I just manage it in a different way.
I think there's one tip that you gave me, which was amazing. You said, don't stay there.
Yes, definitely not. So I did some work with Tim Robbins. I went to Unleash the Power 2 weeks ago, which was a fantastic event. And I got to sit basically ringside and enjoy Tim Robbins do his thing. And one of the things I picked up from there was, he said, you're allowed to be angry, but just don't stay there. You're allowed to be sad, just don't stay there, you know? So
I think that's a conflict that we have in the self-development field is we study so much and we learn and we think, oh, we are not allowed to get sad, we're not allowed to be negative, that's going to mess me up in the day. And I think, and that's a very good point that you just made. Tony Robbins says, you are just brush it off. Like, be there for 5 minutes, brush it off, be done with it, walk off. The course for Tony Robbins was 9 in the morning till midnight, 4 days in a row. Wow. That's 50 hours, okay? Gosh. And of them 50 hours, he's got unparalleled energy. Yeah. In 50 hours, I'd say the one thing I'd walk away with is what he said, is that happiness equals growth. Okay. So if you continue to develop and grow, and you still got a purpose, you always be happy. And I think when you have got a goal, a clear goal of where you want to go, and you've got a clear plan of where you're going, and you keep on adding to it every day, then you can always stay nice and happy. And I always draw the line that Anthony Joshua uses, and that's definitely helped me, the new champion, a unified champion, is stay hungry and stay humble. And when you have a lot of success very early age, you can get a bit arrogant. What about people say, oh, how can I stay happy? I've got this problem, I've got that problem. Yeah. What would you say to them? I don't use the word problem, by the way. I know that, I like that. We rephrase that word completely. So I use the word challenge, and I use the word, then I diffuse it by using the word small challenge. So you're saying vocabulary has a big effect? Massive, huge. So you should change your vocabulary. So if you're using things like words like, I'm not really good at managing time, just put the word yet at the end. At least it keeps the hope alive. That's true. So that's a very powerful word. I think another word is if. Never use if, you should say when. Exactly, when. So I said that to one of my guys yesterday because he was speaking to a customer on the phone and he said to the customer, if you decide to buy the product, then this. And as soon as he got off the phone, I said, look, that's fine,
Everything you said to the customer was correct, but you can improve it slightly. Instead of the word if, say the word when. And that can give an implication it's going to happen. Because if you do the word if and decide in the same sentence, you're telling the person, if I decide to.
Yeah.
So you don't realize the subliminal message you're sending to people. So be a bit more conscious.
Okay. So, and you are also a coach.
Yes.
And you know, his sessions are just one. He just gives you one session.
That's it, I'm
and
done.
you're done.
Done.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
So if you want to get in contact with him, hit him up on his LinkedIn, which is what?
Yeah. So it's Salim space Patel space CT1.
And can we talk about the topics of the
Yeah,
coaching that you
absolutely.
give?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The one is your biggest one is time management.
Time management, I do focus.
Time management, focus.
Focus, I do. I also do sales training.
And pre-selling.
Pre-selling, which is included, which is like referrals.
Yes.
But most of the stuff I do is mindset and goals. So some of my mentors include people like Brian Tracy, which is fantastic. Tim Robbins, of course. Les Brown is really good. Darren Hardy is phenomenal. So these guys have got some fantastic books.
Yes, yeah.
And I think if your viewers can pick up some of these books and start reading them and expanding their mindset, I believe you can genuinely have anything you want in life, providing you're prepared to pay the price for it.
So what about the time frame? What is
about
your
it?
opinion on time frame?
What about it?
Time frame of reaching to your goal. What is your opinion on that?
Okay, so your time frame is subjective. So you can decide when you want to achieve something and make a plan which is realistic. It's got to be measurable and it's got to be achievable. Don't put too much pressure on yourself that you're going to become a multi-billionaire in 2 years. It's not going to happen. It can happen with these high-tech...
If you've got the right...
With the IT tech companies now, it's possible. And I'm not saying discount it, but be realistic. You know, if you've not been achieving much till now, you're not going to get a turbocharge, are you? So be fair and realistic. Once you get momentum, then you can push the boundaries. So I definitely say to people, write down your goals. Don't visualize them in your head.
So what kind of goals
Write
do you
them
say? Because
down.
I've been reading a book lately called The 5 AM Miracle.
Okay.
And he made a very good point that you should have your year as a 12-week year. I'll send you.
Okay.
You never read that book, the 12-week year?
Okay.
Well, basically, what he says is, have your goals in a quarterly basis.
Okay.
But work on them one by one.
Okay.
Don't overwhelm yourself.
Yes, fair enough, yeah.
And if you have that short space of frame, it's going to push you to be more productive, first of all, and it's going to be more manageable.
Okay.
What's your opinion on that?
I think what I've learned by reading multiple books and going to multiple courses and learning from the mentors that I've had grace my life is that there's no right or wrong answer. It's more subjective. It varies. There's no one size fits all for everybody. What works for you might definitely not work for me, and vice versa. So what I say is read the stuff, read the content, give your mind the food that it needs, and then make your own judgment on what works for you. So I read 2 different books and they give me totally 2 different answers to questions I got in my mind, and I think to myself, which one's correct? But it's the wrong question I'm asking. I think the quality of your life is connected to the quality of the question that you ask yourself. You kind of live most of your life in your mind. So if you ask yourself better questions, you get better answers. So if you look at these 2 books and you think, this one's telling me this and this one is telling me this, which one shall I use? Use the best of both. You don't, there doesn't have to be...
Shouldn't it just be, I believe personally, is read whatever you can.
Yes.
And take, even if it's teaching you 10% something new, or even 5 or 2%, you still gain something.
Absolutely.
That was still a good investment.
Absolutely. I went to a training course in the city and it was a sales essential course for basics for sales. So most of the people that were there had never done any selling in their life. And after halfway through the course, the teacher said to me, excuse me, have you been to these courses before? And I said, why? He goes, because you keep challenging me on stuff. And you should have known this stuff. I said, what? You're talking about the one about Tom Hopkins, page 119? And you said this, it was your idea and it wasn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, look, I'm here because I'm here to learn.
Yes.
My attitude towards learning is I'm always...
You want to be challenging.
I'm always...
You want to be challenged.
Something in the making.
Yeah.
Always. I never will ever achieve my potential. It's not possible. But I want to try to achieve as much of it as I can. I want to try and learn as much as I can, do as much as I can, and help as much as I can. That's what I want to do.
So what is your big advice to those people who keep say, you know, who want to manage their day and they've got a job? Say they've got a job and they've got a business that they want to venture, that they want to do on the side, and you know, what would your advice be to them? Like, how can they get themselves out of that position?
Okay.
And be successful in their passion?
As far as managing your day is concerned, I think it's very, very easy to get a better balance if you start to jot things down. In Darren Hardy's book, The Compound Effect, was a great eye-opener for me. And I've read that book cover to cover now about 4 or 5 times.
What
It's
is
a
it
brilliant
called,
book. It's called Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect.
Compound Effect.
It's a fantastic book.
Darren Hardy.
I'd say it's probably my best book I've read.
Okay.
It's a fantastic book, right? And by reading that book, what changed in my mind is how you can make small changes and get big results, but just do it slowly and consistently. So if I'm managing your day is concerned, why don't you jot it down? What time you wake up, what time you go sleep, etc. So I monitor everything. I'm like a micro manager.
Does that become a bit robotic?
No.
That you feel a bit more, you lose.
But I'm major
freedom?
OCD, major OCD.
Yeah.
And that's one of my skills. And it's also one of my weaknesses because I become, like, for example, we're sitting here right now and I'm reading the sign on that board up there and it says Bulks on it.
Yeah.
And I'm reading that. And I shouldn't be, really. But I can't help it. My eyes are just pinging everywhere and attracting information. If you the law of attraction says, if you really want something in your life, you have to think about it. And if you think about it enough, it's going to come into your life. Of course, if you write something down, there's a certain action and energy that partakes thereafter. So
what's your opinion on law of attraction then? What would you say, how to speed it up? And, you know, tell me this honestly.
Okay.
Do you think something, does it happen?
100%.
All the time?
All the time.
What about the time frame of it happening?
Gets faster and faster.
Really? And what is?
Because ultimately everything is from Allah, right?
Yeah.
But what you can do and what you can't do and what you shouldn't do is to sit at home and think, oh, Allah's written this for me, I'm going to get it anyway.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Number one. Number two, you can't just...
you can't say Allah's written for me and I'm going to get it anyway. You can't say that.
Well, you can say that, but it doesn't mean you just sit at home and just expect it to happen. Correct.
Yes.
I say somewhere in the middle, right? Life is all about being in the middle, I believe. Don't be too over the top, don't be too under the top.
Just action as well.
Just keep it simple, right? Okay, so you manage your day by monitoring your day, and then you can see how you can make it more efficient. And you can always look at people within your circle. So I'm writing a book at the moment called Confidence.
Yes.
It's spelled confidence.
Yeah.
And the book is basically about my journey through life. So if some of you viewers want to understand better how I did it, they can read the book.
Yes.
Should be out in about 3 months' time.
Inshallah.
And inshallah, so the book concept is basically where I got my confidence from. Because the challenge with confidence is, I don't believe it actually exists. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's just a word given to a feeling.
Okay.
So I feel confident. What does that mean? Can I touch it? Can I taste it?
No.
Can I pass it on? Can I put it in a bottle? I can't.
You can pass it on, no?
Not really. It's contagious, but not to a degree where I can say, here's the confidence, there you go.
Yeah.
So where do you...
It's a learned behavior.
Confidence comes from experience. But what if you haven't got experience? What if your first day at work? How can you be confident? What if you've done it for 10 years? You can expect to be confident.
Yeah.
If you sold CT1 all your life, you can expect to be confident. What if it's your first day?
Because you're used to it.
Acclimatized, you've made some... I believe in learning via error. So you do something. With my relationship with
and you love criticism.
Error, yeah, I do. My relationship with errors or mistakes is they're only there for me to learn. So I'll make mistakes, but I don't mind. And people might say to me, Salim, come on, man, you could have figured that out. Should have not done that.
Yeah.
And I say, you know what? I learned something though. And if I didn't make that mistake,
I
would have learned it. And I enjoy that. I enjoy making a mistake and learning from it, so I won't do it again. As somebody said to Jimmy once upon a time, I think it was his ex-boss in America, he said, you can make a mistake, that's fine, but just don't make the same mistake twice.
Yes. They say that your last mistake is your best teacher.
There you go.
So. Yeah. So coming back to confidence, so what would your advice be for, like, say a person says, oh, I'm very, very shy, I don't know how to go about this.
That's okay. I'm not here to make people who are shy unshy. If they're shy, that's their comfort zone, that's fine. But maybe that may be holding them back.
It's like your belief, isn't it? You have to think.
It's just a mental state. There's so many things you can do. I always say to people, find the people in your life that are the most confident, the most happy, the most successful, and just emulate them and just rubber them. And just stand right next to them and just learn from them. And everybody's got somebody within their life that they can learn from. Just learn from them.
We've hopped from one topic to another, but coming back to the law of attraction.
Yeah, sure.
What was the saying is, what would you say is to give, what advice would you say is to have a very speedy law of attraction?
Okay.
Like you said, okay, you can't just sit at home and pray and expect things to fall from the sky. Yeah. Literally.
Literally, yeah. Hula hoops.
Yeah. Square hula hoops.
Square hula hoops.
So what would your advice be to say, okay, I want to think this and...
What's happened? Number one, make a list of exactly what you want to do.
What about the time?
Number two, make a time frame of when you want it to happen.
Okay.
Number three, write down all the things you need for that to happen. And let your subconscious mind do the rest. Okay. You're gonna...
But you know, that's quite interesting, because when I read in books, they always say, don't worry about the how.
Yeah, Les Brown, right? Makes a great line. You just desire what you want, The how is none of your business.
Yes. Yeah. But you just said write down your tools. Isn't that writing down the how?
But you're just giving your version of it. But how it happens is not really your business.
Okay. So you're putting the tools like you said.
Look, different people use different parts of their brain more often. It's just the way it is. So in mind mapping, for example, there are people in the world who have used a stable corner of their brain quite often, because the brain is split into four. So the stable corner, for example, are people like accountants, for example. They're quite steady. They're just, they're fixated and they're just quite safe. Then you've got people who are in the driven sector. You've got people who are in the love sector. They need to be loved all the time, right? Then you've got people who are like analytical and stats, right? Okay. So for me, when I did my brain mapping, I had a confident feeling that I would be definitely in the driven corner. And the driven sector equates for probably about 90% of the world's CEOs.
Okay. It's
people who want to get from here to Scotland, but don't really care how they get there. As long as they get there, that's it. And everything else is collateral. Now that might sound quite bad.
That's not, I understand, I can relate to
But
that.
literally, I don't care. I just need to get there. And a really good line by Jimmy, and I use this very, very often, maybe every day I use this line. If I don't go around the mountain and I don't go over the mountain, eventually I'll just go through the mountain.
Interesting.
So it's like a homing device. And this can be a massive advantage, but also a bit of a disadvantage, because once you look into something, that's it. Yeah. Nothing else matters. Everything else is collateral, unless you just go for it, tunnel vision. And if you do that, the chances are you're going to be quite successful at it, but you're going to have some casualties.
Yes.
So you have to kind of bear that in mind, you know. Sometimes I don't speak to my wife for weeks. It's not a bad thing, right? Yeah. But sometimes she calls me and says, are we still married? And I say, we are married, but I just don't know it right at the moment because I'm just too focused. Yeah. So you can leave people aside. Sometimes I don't see my son, in the day. Yeah. And that used to make me feel really, really emotional. Like even yesterday, I went to work at 8:30 in the morning. I didn't go home till midnight. It was an unnormal day because we had some work going on in my offices. And that's fine. It's okay.
You with that as a day?
It's fine because when I got home and I saw my son sleeping there, I looked at him in his Superman outfit.
Did you steal his bat again?
Yes, we have this game going on where I steal lots of his toys.
And take
he doesn't know I've steal his toys specifically, so don't put it on TV because then he'll find out. Dad, you got my bat, or my car. But it's a game that I play with him because
sweet,
I feel the only thing you really need to teach your children is two things: confidence and hard-working attitude. And that's the only thing I care about. Sorry?
Appreciation?
Yeah, I mean, appreciation generally comes as you go along in life. But at the moment, he's got nothing to appreciate because he doesn't understand someone's doing something for him. Yeah. That will come later on in life. And appreciation is a great way of negating anger. So say, for example, I'm very angry because I'm in a queue at the airport and they lost my bags, right? At that moment, to negate the anger, a very good way is to appreciate something and say, you know what, at least I've got the opportunity to travel to this country. Okay, I lost my bag. You know what? I can buy another one. It's not the end of the world. I didn't like that t-shirt anyway, Yeah. There's ways you can do it. And if you start appreciating, your brain is not capable of thinking of something positive and negative at the same time. So I say put as much positive in as you can, your negative will come out.
I think that's what they always say is, you can't use the law of attraction if you're going to be positive and negative. You have to have one set of frame.
And I think contribution is very important because if all you do is just be successful yourself, I think that can be a little bit selfish and it can make you a little bit arrogant and can make you a little bit, unfulfilled to a degree. Yes. Human beings need to be able to contribute. Yes. So my contribution is the coaching. So I do business coaching and I do personal coaching. Yes. The personal coaching I do it complimentary. So anybody who I feel needs help or is brought to me who needs some kind of help in any way, whether it's talking, financial, whatever, I try and help them as best as I can. Yeah. Why? Because that makes me feel fantastic that I'm helping somebody. Yeah,
that's your way of giving back.
That's my way of giving back. So one of my books I'm going to be writing called What They Don't Teach You at School, I'm going to distribute it to all my local schools for free. They don't know it yet, but now they do.
Yeah.
So that's really, really good.
Another one thing I want to come back to is, coming back, mashallah, you're a Muslim.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
And what if people turn around and say to you, you've got all this money and it's going to take you away from God, it's going to take you away from Allah.
Yeah, I've had that actually, someone even said to me that because I sit down and make lists, that means I'm trying to interfere with God's plan for me.
Yeah, that's another.
I've even had that as well, right?
That's another question.
And some people have said, and there's another thing that Muslim men generally, or Muslim leaders, generally will not put themselves in the forefront. Yeah. And I'm telling them now they should. Yes. Because maybe they're afraid of nazar, for example. Yes. Yeah. What I say to those people is this: if you're in business, you're in the business of advertising. Yes. Yeah. This is a mechanism to advertise your business. And if you're not prepared to advertise your business, get out of business. But they're thinking, no, people don't need to know who I am, where I am,
Yeah.
you know. But why have the fear? Have your faith in Allah.
No, but the thing is, people might turn around and say, oh, when you have so much money, you're going to forget Allah. What's your answer to that?
Far from it. Everything I have is from Allah. If I've got something, it's because Allah accepted, Allah allowed me to have it. It's not because I designed it and I made it.
Well, you're not
Allah
saying
gave me
it
the
makes you further
opportunity.
because you're so busy, you've got money, you're doing too many
No,
things.
no, definitely
you
not.
forget your salah, you forget to read the Quran Sharif. You know,
No.
what would you advise?
You
people
build that into your day.
Okay.
You have block time. So when it's prayer time, everything stops.
MashaAllah.
Just drop everything, that's it. It doesn't matter. My good friend Omar Isa, he made a really good video. It's on YouTube now, actually.
Yes.
Have you seen it? It's called I'm Late.
Yes, I've seen. That's hilarious.
And I watched it, and I still don't know what it was about until right at the end.
Yeah,
I
had a feeling I knew.
I thought, what a good concept, right?
Yeah, especially the
and
chicken wings.
that brother, he's a fantastic guy,
Yeah.
right? He's got so much talent. And what I've learned throughout my 36 years of doing different things is that just because you have talent, it doesn't mean you're going to be ultra successful. Sometimes you just need someone to help you along the way. So, for example, there's a young guy, he's an under 21 world snooker champion at the moment, who is 21 years old, 20 years old. He's under 21 world snooker champion at the moment, and he's trying to make it in the snooker world. But it's not easy because there's so many good players. But I'm trying to provide him some level of mentorship to protect him from the vultures that are trying to just eat into his money that he makes when he wins tournaments. So we try to work with sports people. We try and sponsor local events, local charities. We try and work with people who've got talent.
Is that your way of giving back?
Absolutely, and I enjoy doing it. I love doing it. We allow people to come in for, from schools for work placement. You know, a lot of people ain't got time. We try to nurture them and work with them. We try to help as much as we can.
One thing I noticed about you, mashallah, Salim, is that you, although you have all this money, may Allah give you more.
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. May Allah give you more. But I've noticed you're not attached at all, and you have this mindset. I've seen it, and I think I've seen you walk around in a t-shirt and jeans, like you'd be like, relax,
Absolutely,
you don't care.
yeah.
It's like.
I was gonna come in t-shirt and shirt, but you asked me specifically.
I said, please wear a suit.
Please wear a suit. I went, oh God. Actually,
no, but it just shows how
I was in a
humble you
t-shirt and shirt before I got here. I went to the phone booth.
Like Superman.
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
Clark Kent.
Yeah.
But mashallah, you're so humble towards it. A lot of people I've noticed, they'll get so attached and greedy as well. I'm sorry, I've met so many entrepreneurs, once they've made it, they don't want to know you.
No.
And you know what, mashallah, since I've met this guy, and anytime I've hit him up for advice, he's been there when it comes to business, when it comes to, personal coaching, and you've given me such great stuff that I want to, I'm dying to learn more because...
Absolutely.
And
but I learned from you also.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
Yeah, but there's very few people that you can meet that will be willing to give that advice and care.
What makes me feel good is when I bump into people that I knew in school, primary school, and I have a little laugh with them. I might meet them in a shopping centre, and they say to me, you know what, you're the same guy. Yeah. And I say, you know what, that's fantastic. You know why? Because I never want to change. Why should I change? Yeah. I'm still the person I was then. I still play Connect 4. You know, I still...
But how do you hold on to that personality? That's the question. You haven't answered it yet.
Because I don't let my external environment affect my internal being. So no matter what I've got around me in terms of material items, I am still Salim Patel from Forest Gate. That's it. You know, I was born there, I lived there. Yeah. You don't forget your roots. You try to invest back into the country that you've been born into. So I was born in the UK, so I'll try and help everybody in the UK as I can, in any shape, way or form, you know.
Are you doing the charities, youth work?
Absolutely, yeah. So we support BCBN, we support Abdullah Aid, which is a charity that my friend is the chairman of, which is a fantastic charity. They help children all over the world, chaired by a good friend of mine, does phenomenal work. So we try and help him in any way I can. And I just say to him, look, if you need help in any way, just give me a call. You know? Oh, happy to help. You know? Happy to help.
Well, the thing I was going to say, like you said, money doesn't distance you from Allah. It's all about you.
No, far from it, no.
Because lots of people do have this belief.
A friend of mine said to me,
money's evil, money's the root.
Whoa, they do. But I think the people that say that are broke. I'll tell you a better line.
That's a good way of putting it.
I'll tell you a better line. My friend Habab says to me that poor people can't help poor people.
That's interesting.
Yeah? And some people say, I don't believe in God because why is there poor people in the world? I said, well, if they weren't there, how would you give your zakat? How would you give your 2.5% of your wealth every year that all Muslims give?
Like Nike said, if the whole world gave zakat,
there would be no poverty.
There would be no hunger.
But technically, the poor people need to be there so that you can give your zakat and fulfill your obligation. If they weren't there, how would you give it? So it's not you giving the money, no. If they're allowing you to fulfill your right. So you're in debt to them, really. So when it's time to give zakah, it's a great time because I calculate my net worth and then alhamdulillah, you know, I give them away to whatever charities are there. They don't have to be only Muslim charities.
Yes.
They can be non-Muslim charities.
Yes.
And I really enjoy it because that's a way of purifying your wealth, fulfilling the commandments of God. But more importantly, it's a way of you to help people without any, you know.
So when people say, oh, I don't want to be rich because there's a hadith saying that, I think I mentioned this to you.
Okay.
Do you maybe you've forgotten.
Yeah.
But actually you don't forget anything.
Yeah.
But do you remember there's this hadith that the poor people will go into paradise 500 years before
there is,
the wealthy people.
And the Prophet,
wouldn't that put you
okay,
off?
and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that I will be amongst the poor people if you're looking for me on the day of judgment. And I'm not disputing any of those quotes at all. What I'm saying is this, is be a good rich person than be a bad poor person. Yeah? If you're going to be rich, and rich is down to interpretation. I'd rather be wealthy. I'd rather have a wealth of happiness. I'd rather have a wealth of confidence. I'd rather have a wealth of good friends, good family, people that I can connect with, people that I can share with. That's my wealth. Money is just a piece of paper. It's just a tool to get you to the next stage. So my relationship with money is very different. I'll give you a really good example. So a friend of mine spent £9,000, and he'll know who it is, on tiles for his new house, right? And he says to me, Salim, you know what? We were at Wembley Stadium watching a football match, right? And he said to me, Salim, you know what? I had to have a cold shower, bruv. I said, what for, bruv? He goes, I spent £9 on towels.
I feel bad.
I feel horrendous.
Yeah.
I said, brother, I spent 10 grand on something else and I feel awesome.
Okay.
He said, why do you feel awesome and I feel awful?
Yeah.
I go, it's not to do with how much money you have. It's more to do with you're thinking, when can you earn it back? So you can feel okay again. Well, I'm not worried about it. If I don't earn it back, it's not the end of the world. You know, for me,
I had it, I enjoyed it.
it's a laid back approach.
Is that wasting money, would you say?
What's wasting money?
Is that not wasting money? Is a thing?
Depends on your interpretation of wasting money. To him, I think why he's cheesed off is because he didn't choose the towels, his wife did. He don't want to spend £9 on his wife's favourite towels. But if he spent that on an exhaust pipe for his Jaguar, he'd be happy. Hey, you know what? I put a really nice exhaust pipe on my Jaguar.
Or even like the Wi-Fi or the beep, like the speakers.
Yeah. The funny thing is that people's relationship with situations will govern how they feel about it, you know? So for me, I love what I do. I work within CTEC Building Solutions. I sell CT1, I sell multi-solve, I sell power grab, etc. Okay. And our website is CT1 Ltd.com. Yes. People can find out more information if they like. And it's a fantastic company. There's fantastic distributors in the network. I learn from all of them and I share what I can with them to try help all of us be successful.
You have a very good your colleagues have
Absolutely, yeah. I learn from all of them. When they start, first day I'm there. Hello. And they're like, well, what are you here? I'll go, I'm here to learn. Because if you've been brought on board, you must have something. And I want to know what that is. I just want to learn and see.
My next question is going to be a very interesting one. Would you say making money is easy or hard?
Very easy.
Are you serious?
Absolutely very easy.
People like they're moaning, saying, I'm not making enough money. This isn't working for me.
Tell them to get at the dole office.
What, sorry?
The dole office, yeah.
What's that?
Where you go and sign on.
Oh, what is people,
people who don't have money can find it very difficult. People who have money, let's look at two sides of the extreme. You've got someone like a great figure like Sir Alan Sugar, who invests in people, which I don't see anyone else really doing.
Who, sorry?
Sir Alan Sugar, right? So he invests in people and he's on one side of the scale. And you've got somebody who doesn't work for a living, for argument's sake. Let's just compare the two extremes. Who would you rather be, first of all?
Alan Sugar.
Okay. And as far as making money is concerned, if you took all of Sir Alan Sugar's money tomorrow morning, I'm confident within a year he'll be back to where he was.
Yeah, because they didn't know how to use it efficiently.
Correct. But if you gave all that money to the poor guy, if you gave all that money to the poor guy, where would he be in a year's time? Poor. He'd probably be more broke than he is now. Yeah, simply because
win the lottery.
They have a poor mindset. I like to have a rich mindset.
That happens to a lot of people who win the lottery. Like
and it depends on your relationship with money or material things. It's whether you need them to make your life feel valuable. I don't. If I have them, it's great. But I don't mind if I have to sleep on the carpet, on the floor. It doesn't make a difference. I don't need that level of certainty in my life. Different people have different levels.
It's the belief of certainty that
so everybody has different levels of certainty and different levels of uncertainty in your life. And for me, certainty is not that important. Uncertainty is a bit more important. So I need to be excited, I need to be challenged, I need to be motivated, I need to be inspired, aspired, I need to travel. So I've been to over 50 odd countries in the world and learn stuff. So I'll be able to learn stuff a lot quicker. Because when you're outside your comfort zone so often, you have to learn to adapt. And that's what I've learned to do through the peers and the people that have helped me along the way. So my team in CTEC in London, they're fantastic. They've been with me for a number of years now, and they support my vision. We have a vision, and we work together. I don't call any of my staff. We all work together. So if people say, oh, does he work for you? No, he works with me. It's a team. It's a team sport. There's no I in team, right? So we work together. We have a goal. We have an objective. And we just crack on.
Wow. So when it comes to creating that certainty mindset then, or having that mindset of, okay, I can make money, it's easy.
Yes.
What is your advice on that?
Very easy. Instead of thinking you want to achieve something, just work the other way around. Think of what you want to achieve.
Okay.
Imagine you've already achieved it and feel how you would feel if you achieved it or when you've achieved it.
Okay.
And then work yourself backwards.
Backwards?
Yes.
Okay.
So work backwards. And when you're working with to-do lists, everybody's got to-do lists.
Do the hardest thing first.
No. Start with a not to-do list first.
Oh, yeah,
things that you refuse to do, and then work on your to-do list.
Why would you say that?
Because your not to-do list is more important. What you refuse to do. So if you don't want to answer phone calls anymore, write that down. I don't want to answer any more phone calls. I don't want to touch the fax machine. I don't want to touch the post. I don't want to push the buggy. Just write it down. And then you've got to convince your wife. Oh, by the way, I've just decided.
So did you show her the list? It's not on my list that I'm not meant to push the buggy.
To be honest,
you look at the list, please?
She was a bit upset because she was on my not to-do list for a period of time.
Oh, no.
Not to talk to her, not talk to my wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, between 9 and 5.
Why did you say that? Oh, between 9 and 5.
Because my wife, she knickknacks. She phoned me between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock because she's walking around looking for lunch and just drain my energy. Oh, did you know that this is this and this is this and there's a promotion here and there's a list there? And I'm like, look, you know what? I really don't care. Is it important and urgent? If it isn't, don't phone me. So we have a system. Monday to Friday is my day. Saturday is my wife's day. She can drag me around everywhere and take me places I maybe don't even want to go in shopping centres, whatever it is.
Sweet, yeah.
Watch a movie, whatever it is. I'll try to make her as happy as I can. And Sunday is my son's day. So
whatever he wants to do.
Whatever he wants. He'll wake up in the morning, Dad, it's my day. And that's it. Straight to the toy shop, straight to the shopping centre, straight to the park, whatever he wants to do.
Would you say that's spoiling him?
No, I don't spoil my son, no. I give him choices. I give him options.
Okay.
Yeah, at the moment he's after Lamborghini.
Why? He's only, how old is he?
He's 5. But he genuinely believes he deserves one.
Why?
Because he says he's awesome.
Oh, so obviously that's coming off you.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's rubbing off on you, from you. So, coming back to would you say when people believe that, if you have this belief, and I know this already, if you are saying, when it comes to money-wise, I've spent this money, and you're regretting it, is that going to stop the law of attraction of money coming in?
Not necessarily, no. I think what people should do...
Like you said, that guy was complaining about the 9 grand.
Yeah, it was painful. When he watches this, he's going to... Yeah, anyway. But he's cool, he's cool.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. He's a fantastic guy. I think, from my point of view, from my belief system, it's very simple. Believe in what you want and have the courage to follow through with it. As Salim says, don't sit on the fence so you get a sore bum. Make a decision. Even if it's the wrong decision, just be convicted. Learn from it and move on. Just find another way. If you've got yourself programmed in, it doesn't really matter how you get there. You might go around different routes, but eventually you're going to get there. And there's always going to be people around you that will help you, providing that you ask them. Okay. And I think
asking is a powerful thing.
I don't believe that many people ask people around them, excuse me, can you help me? You know, you're successful, can you teach me?
One very powerful thing I learned is after every no, after every 7th no, there will be a yes. So keep asking.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that way it's just to promote you say, and I was reading the book about Jack Canfield, The Principles of Success. Have you read that one?
No, I haven't read that.
Okay. So he was saying keep going around asking people and he goes and we're telling his clients that he met one person and they came up to guess what, Jack? And he goes, what? The guy said no. That means I'm closer to a yes. So it's just like that means eventually I will get there. And it's just about having that
very
confidence.
similar to a book called Getting to the Yes and Getting to the No, Getting Past the No, right? So there is multiple ways to get to where you want to get to.
Okay.
What I'm saying to people and what I'm implementing myself first is there's many ways to get to where you want to get to. All you have to do is make a plan, written plan, make a time frame and just start attacking that plan and try to bring in all the resources you need to get yourself to the maximum. Fulfill your potential. Les Brown puts it very, very nicely. Is people don't fail in life because they aim too high and they miss. People fail in life because they aim too low and they hit. And then they're in their comfort zone. And if they're in their comfort zone, they don't need to adjust or adapt. A really good example is a friend of mine, Nizam. He's based in the north. He's got 5 dessert parlours called Heavenly Desserts, right? And this guy's young, he's 29. He's a fantastic guy. And when I sit with him and I have a conversation, I was with him a few weeks back. When I talk to him, for somebody that young to have that level of confidence in his decision making means that he's made a lot of errors in the past and he's learned from them and he's adapted. And what a great thing to have that young age, to have successful businesses up and down the country, and he's opening more and at such a tender age, you know. So I try to pick stuff from him also, right?
Learning from each other.
So he asks me questions and I give him answers and I ask him a question.
Yes.
And that way I learn from them. So I will say, if you have a learning mindset or a learning cap on, you will always pick up things from people and then you can utilize it. Now there's still going to be people who are sitting there thinking, well, you know, I can't pay my bills, I can't do this, I can't do that. And you know what, that's fair enough. I know everybody's situation is different. I'm not saying life is rosy. All I'm saying is that there's always a way if the desire is strong enough.
Yes.
And the desire can be built in your mind.
Wow. I think we could talk to Salim all day. Mashallah, he gives such amazing advice. But before we go, and I would like Salim to give his one top advice that you can start applying today. Can you please look at the viewers and let them know? Yeah, sure. The top advice I'd give is definitely believe in yourself. Become your own best fan and do what your heart says and just go for it. That's the best advice I'd give. Oh, wow. That's powerful. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show and you've taken away lots of nuggets that you can start applying to your business today. Until next time, the live show with Musart.